Let's talk about something that is, in one way, actually a little easier in Russian than it is in English. Let's start by looking at these pairs of sentences. Here's a new book. The book is really interesting. We often combine these two into one sentence like this. Here's a new book that's really interesting. Let's do one more. Where's the student? The student speaks Russian. Where's the student who speaks Russian? These little words that and who substitute for other words so that we don't have to repeat them. That refers back to the book, and who refers back to the student. And we can do the same thing in Russian using the word который. For example, вот новая книга, которая очень интересная. Где студент, который говорит по-русски? Now in English, we use that to refer to things like a book, and who, or maybe whom, for people, but in Russian, который can be used with a person or a thing. If you take a close look at the endings of который, you'll notice that it takes regular adjective endings, so it will change for gender, number, and case, just like any other adjective in Russian. Книга is feminine singular, so we use а я as the ending. Студент is masculine, so we use и. A few more examples. Это бабушка, которая недавно приехала. Где дети, которые едут на экскурсию? Вот платье, которое ему так понравилось. Где книга, которую ты купил? Now there's one more thing to say about the ending of который. How do we know which case to use? In this last example, книга is nominative since it's the subject of the first clause. But what about которую? Why do we have that accusative ending? Well, it's because the book it refers to is the direct object in the second clause. The subject in that clause is you, since you carried out the action. So this means that the gender and number of который agree with the noun that it refers back to, but the case of который is determined by its function in that second clause. This means that который could occur in any of the 6 cases. Let's look at some more examples then. Они говорили о студенте, которого вчера не было. Since he was not there yesterday, we use the genitive ending, которого, to express absence. В Твери нашли квартиру для детей, дом которых уничтожен пожаром. When we express possession or relation with the genitive, который follows that noun. Remember that it still agrees in number with the noun that it refers back to. That's why we have the plural которых to match детей. Я знаю студента, которому было так скучно. Я думаю о студенте, с которым ты говорил. Где книги, о которых ты рассказывал? Let's think about the word order in these last 2 examples. In English, we often use a preposition last in a sentence. For example, I might ask, where are the books you were telling me about? In Russian, though, we'll never end a sentence with a preposition. So if you do use a preposition with который, make sure that that preposition comes first in the clause, followed by который. Now, in English, I could say, where are the books about which you were telling me? But that really does sound pretty stiff and too formal, I think. But this word order in Russian is completely natural. For the most part, Russian word order is flexible, but this actually is a strict rule. The preposition has to be at the beginning of that second clause before который. And one last quick point about который, especially for native speakers of English. In English, we sometimes leave out that relative pronoun that. I might say, where's the book you were reading? Or what's the name of the professor you liked? In Russian, though, we always include который. Где книга, которую ты читал? Как зовут профессора, который тебе понравился? Summing up, который is used like English that or who to link 2 clauses. It takes adjective endings, and the gender and number agree with the noun that it refers back to. The case ending, though, depends on its function in the clause where который occurs. If you need a preposition, be sure to put it at the beginning of the clause before который.